In 2025, Pope Leo XIV convened a historic meeting at the Vatican, gathering lawmakers from across Europe, both religious and secular. This assembly was remarkable, political adversaries united by concern for Europe's future. The Pope, acting as a spiritual guide, addressed what he saw as a crisis of identity and values. Europe was facing deep divisions over national identity, immigration, and secularism. Pope Leo argued these were not just political issues, but symptoms of a spiritual crisis. By calling lawmakers to Rome, he asserted the Church's relevance in public life, positioning the papacy as a moral compass. The goal to forge a new consensus rooted in shared heritage, transcending partisan politics. For centuries, Europe separated church and state, but the Pope challenged this, proposing that solutions to modern problems require a return to faith-based foundations. He called on leaders to reconsider the role of faith in public life, urging them to become guardians of Europe's soul. The atmosphere was solemn. The Pope spoke as a pastor, framing the discussion as a moral duty. He invited lawmakers to join the Church in a common cause for Europe's future. Central to the Pope's address was a plea to defend Europe's Judeo-Christian roots. He argued these roots are the lifeblood of European civilization, underpinning values like dignity, freedom, and justice. The Pope warned that abandoning this heritage leads to social decay and moral confusion. He insisted the Church's guidance is not about power, but about serving the common good. Lawmakers were urged to translate these principles into public policy, protecting the vulnerable, supporting families, and acknowledging faith's public role. The Pope contrasted Christian traditions' enduring wisdom with the emptiness of modern secular ideologies. He warned, a society that forgets God forgets what it means to be human. Defending Judeo-Christian heritage, he said, is essential for a hopeful, humane future. Pope Leo's message rested on 4 pillars. First, Europe's identity is inseparable from its Judeo-Christian heritage. Denying this is denying Europe itself. Second, Christianity's positive contributions, universities, hospitals, human rights, are the foundation of a flourishing society. Third, Europe's cultural achievements, cathedrals, music, literature, are rooted in faith, and secularism risks losing this depth. Fourth, the Church must have a greater voice in public life, guiding moral issues and informing policy. The Pope rejected strict separation of church and state, calling for cooperation where faith shapes laws for the common good. He clarified, the Church would not govern, but its wisdom should guide. This vision directly challenges modern secularism. The Pope's 4 pillars called for a renewed partnership between church and state. He urged leaders to reclaim Europe's spiritual and cultural legacy. The Pope's message resonated across the Atlantic, where Christian nationalism was rising in the United States. American leaders argued the nation's laws and identity should be grounded in Christian values, echoing the Pope's call. They advocated for policies reflecting a conservative Christian worldview and worked to elect like-minded officials. This movement created a transatlantic alliance of religious conservatives, united against secularism. The Pope's call validated American efforts to restore God to public life. This alliance now transcends old divisions, focusing on reasserting Christianity's influence in the West. The Vatican's message is no longer just for Catholics, but for all Christians concerned about Western civilization's direction. Together, they are reshaping the political landscape, making church-state union a central issue. The Vatican's vision is a specific program for integrating religious ideas into public policy. Lawmakers are encouraged to see themselves as custodians of a moral order grounded in divine law. The standard for just laws, the Pope argued, is their alignment with Christian teachings, not just popular opinion. The Vatican advocates for a state that actively promotes a Christian moral framework supporting families, life, and public morality. The Church seeks a partnership with lawmakers, offering moral authority and support to shape society. This approach aims to replace secularism with a Christian-inspired order, believing only such a foundation can withstand modern challenges. Cooperation between church and state is seen as essential to preserving freedom and moral well-being. The ultimate goal, a society where laws reflect religious truth and the Church's mission is unhindered. For students of prophecy, these developments fulfill long-foretold events. Revelation predicts a union of religious and political power enforcing worship echoed in the great controversies warnings about church-state alliances. The growing cooperation between church and state in Europe and the US aligns with these prophecies. Movements to legislate religious values are seen as steps toward this predicted union. History warns that when church controls the state, religious freedom suffers and dissenters are persecuted. The freedoms these movements claim to protect are the very ones most at risk. The Pope's call is part of a global movement merging church and state authority. Prophecy warns this will lead to loss of liberty and persecution of conscience. The future hinges on whether nations heed history's lessons or pursue a path toward legislated faith.